All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something that makes everything else possible. I'm talking about the nervous system. It's the body's command center, its internet, its power grid, all rolled into one incredible network that lets you think, feel, and move.
Have you ever really thought about this? You touch something hot and your hand pulls back instantly, way before your brain even goes, "Ow, that's hot!" How does that happen? It feels almost like magic, right? Well, it's not magic, and that's the mystery we're going to solve today. The answer is all about how that command center is wired.
So, to get to the bottom of that hot stove puzzle, we first have to get familiar with the system that's running the show. Let's meet the boss, the CEO of your entire body.
So, what is the nervous system really? Well, at its heart, it's the ultimate control system. And it's not just for deep thoughts. It coordinates everything: your breathing, your heartbeat, how you walk, and how you react to the world. And it does it all with these super fast electrical and chemical signals.
And why is this so important for animals? Well, look at this. You need it to sense what's going on around you, to react in a split second, to coordinate your muscles, just to stand up. It's not just a nice-to-have feature. It's literally the difference between life and death. It is the key to survival.
Okay, so we get what it is and why it's so vital. Now, let's pull out a map and look at the layout, because the nervous system isn't just one big blob. It's a huge network with different departments, and each one has a very specific job to do.
So we can basically split this whole map into three major divisions. You've got the central nervous system, or CNS. Think of this as headquarters. Then there's the peripheral nervous system, or PNS. That's like all the cables and messengers running out from HQ. And finally, the autonomic nervous system, the ANS, which is kind of the autopilot system. Let's start by looking at how headquarters and its messengers talk to each other.
And this breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you have the CNS. That's your brain and spinal cord. This is central command. It's where the big calls are made. On the other side, you have the PNS. These are all the nerves that branch out to every single part of your body. Their job? To act as the messengers, bringing information into the CNS and carrying orders back out. They're a team. One is useless without the other.
Okay, let's zoom in on that central command. What's actually inside the CNS? Well, there are two major players running the whole operation.
First, you've got the brain, the big boss, the control center for thinking, memory, all the complex stuff. And then you have the spinal cord. This thing is amazing. It's the main information superhighway, but it's also the manager in charge of those super fast reflexes.
Right. So while your brain is busy with higher level stuff like, what should I have for dinner, the spinal cord is dealing with the here and now, the critical stuff. And this is the key to our hot stove question. The spinal cord has the authority to make an emergency decision on its own without waiting for the brain to weigh in.
Okay, so we've seen the big map. Now we're going to zoom all the way in. I mean, way, way down to the microscopic level. To really get this, we need to see how a single message travels through this system.
And this is the star of the show, the neuron. It's the fundamental building block, the worker bee of the nervous system. Every single thing you experience, a thought, a touch, a sight, it's all being carried by these little guys as a tiny flash of electricity, a nerve impulse.
And each neuron is basically a one-way street for information. See these little branches, the dendrites? They act like antennas, picking up a signal. The signal goes to the cell body, which decides if it's important enough to pass on. If it is, whoosh, it sends the signal flying down the axon, that long tail, to the next neuron in the chain. It's like a perfectly coordinated relay race.
Okay, so here it is, the answer to the hot stove question. This is the reflex arc. Step 1, your skin feels that intense heat. A receptor screams, "Danger!" Step 2, a sensory neuron zaps that message straight to the spinal cord. Now here's the magic. Step 3, the spinal cord doesn't forward the message to the brain and wait for instructions. No way. It makes an executive decision right there and then. Step 4, it immediately sends a command back out through a motor neuron. And step 5, that neuron tells your muscle to contract, now. And just like that, you've pulled your hand away. It all happens so fast that the pain message is still making its slow journey up to your brain. Your body has already saved you before you even consciously feel the pain. That's a serious survival advantage.
Pretty incredible, isn't it? But it's not all about emergencies. The nervous system also has this amazing autopilot mode for all the stuff we don't think about. And it's a master of teamwork, collaborating with other systems in the body.
And that autopilot is our third big division, the autonomic nervous system, the ANS.
Think of it as having two settings. You've got the sympathetic system, that's your fight or flight mode. It's the gas pedal. It jacks up your heart rate, makes you alert, gets you ready for action. And then you have the parasympathetic system. This is rest and digest. It's the brake pedal. It calms you down, slows your heart rate, and focuses on things like digestion. These two are constantly working together, like a seesaw, to keep your body in perfect balance.
And speaking of teamwork, the nervous system has a crucial partner, the endocrine system. They're like two different kinds of communication. The nervous system is like sending a text message. It's incredibly fast, uses electricity, and the effect is immediate but doesn't last long. The endocrine system, on the other hand, is like sending a letter through the mail. It's slower because it uses hormones in the bloodstream, but its effects are much more long-lasting. They're the perfect duo for managing your body's responses.
So let's wrap this up. Why does any of this matter? Well, because this system is what keeps you alive. It's behind those lightning-fast reflexes that save you from getting burned. It controls every single move you choose to make, and all the ones you don't, like breathing. It's the master conductor making sure the entire orchestra of your body is playing in perfect harmony. In short, without it, there's nothing.
And I want to leave you with this one last thought. Think about it. Your entire reality, every person you love, every song that moves you, your sense of who you are, it all comes down to simple electrical signals jumping between these tiny cells. It's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? When you boil it all down to that, what does that tell us about what it means to be human? Really makes you think.